though. Is there a clear direction, a clear plan to move forward?
Our direction is we've achieved our first and only goal in the beginning from the very start, and I think that safety was the ultimate for 13 games and 12 points when I arrived here. That was very similar to other clubs that I'd arrived at a similar time. And the magic thing about what happened here was we'd done it in such quick time when you see others still striving and still worried and still that we're not. What we are striving for is to finish the season as best we possibly can and acquire as many points as we can. And then deliver a pre-season, a policy for ins and outs at the club, and the pre-season in terms of training times, and of course the World Cup is pretty difficult to organise because World Cup members who go to World Cup matches will be having to come back and have the right amount of rest before this, So some of those, if they play in the World Cup at any great length, may not even start the season. So we have that penciled in, but the main majority of the pre-season is where everybody going, what's everybody doing, when are they coming back. That's all, nearly all in play. What games are we playing is nearly all sorted as well, and when we're playing them, and then of course we give our lads the whole kit and caboodle regarding their training programs when they leave, how much rest they have, how much they need to start reactivating the body even before we start back on training. So that gladly is nearly in place, and the games, because we're now secured our Premier League status, so that allows us to move forward. But now it's 4 games. Newcastle on Monday night, who are in good form, and we will try our very best to beat them with our good home record. But I have to say they're in the best form. They're in the best form they've been in all season, haven't they, since the turn of the year? So it'll be a tough match as always.
That sounds like what's gone on this week then hasn't brought any thoughts of you reconsidering your thoughts on staying at this club.
Did I not just say I'd answer this question and that would be it?
But what I'm saying
but being as it's you, it hasn't made any difference for me considering my position at the football club. No. And until somebody rings me up at the very highest level and says, Sam, you're not wanted anymore, then I'll hold my hands up and say, right, okay, if that's how you feel, that's fine. But I'd be extremely disappointed if that was the case. In fact, I'd be much more disappointed than extremely.
So how do you feel about this club, this job now?
I don't feel anything other than great respect for the club as I had before I came in, and its need and its desire to have as much success as it possibly can. But success takes time, and when a season has been completely disrupted unexpectedly, then it throws a club into turmoil and into chaos. So when I arrived, it was chaos, and we've managed to overcome that side of it and bring a level of training, performance, and try and get better consistency, particularly away from home, which we haven't achieved yet. But as time moves on and as a new season arrives, we have to make big decisions amongst us all, and all pull in the right direction to make those decisions, and saying, how do we get Everton better next season than this?
What are your thoughts as to how you do improve the situation?
It'll all be about recruitment, how good it is, and what we can achieve, and how much, like everybody else, what funds will be available.
In terms of that recruitment, do you have a figure in mind?
Diversifying from Newcastle again now. Get back to Newcastle.
I will do.
All right.
But just one final thing on that recruitment. I mean, how many players do you feel you need to supplement? I know you've got to move players out, but
I'm not going to tell anybody that just yet, am I? So I'm not going to speculate on who's going to go out, who's going to come back in. I mean, we have a difficult summer, as I said last time, by the fact the World Cup's on, and it's okay saying, we might do this business or that business. A lot of the summer months, you try and achieve what business you want. You can't do that, and then all of a sudden you do business that you never expected to do, as in terms of players in, players out. What your targets might be in the beginning of the beginning of pre-season or at the end of this season, by the time the middle of the seasons or pre-seasons happened, those targets could have very well changed. But being in the World Cup year, recruitment's going to be difficult, to say the least.
As it's Newcastle, what's it like going up against your former club?
It's been so long now that I've known nothing but respect for the football club, and the fact that while I was considered to be unjust that I lost my job, it happened, and I've moved on. And after a difficult time from that period onwards, they've managed to recover and get back in the Premier League, and what looked like going to be a difficult season has been turned around starting in January, so they've put together a run of games by